What would you do if every aspect of your carefully compartmentalized life, your secrets, your failures and fears, your unresolved longings, came crashing together in a single suffocating afternoon, with nowhere to run and everyone you know standing witness? Shiva Baby plays out as one long, breathless panic attack, plunging its protagonist into a crowded Shiva where the boundaries between public and private, self and other, past and present, collapse with relentless force. Against the backdrop of locks, bagels, nervous chatter, judgmental stares and suffocating tradition, a profoundly queer, deeply human story of self-confrontation unfolds. This is a film that captures how, for young women, especially queer women trying to emerge from tight-knit communities, sometimes the bravest and hardest journey is just to survive one afternoon of being truly seen. The film opens on a discordant chord. Danielle, a college senior caught between adolescence and adulthood, balances precariously through a city street on her phone. She is flustered, late, distracted. The world she inhabits is one of gig economies and shrinking margins, a young adult's reality full of side hustles, unfinished essays, and constant low-grade panic about the future. The first anxiety we witness isn't the Shiva itself, but the transactional encounter she rushes from, a cash-filled hookup with Max, a slightly older man, at once contractual and falsely intimate. For Danielle, it's not a relationship, nor is it simply sex work. It's a means of economic survival, a confused experiment, and perhaps a placeholder for a connection she isn't sure how to locate elsewhere. From this private chaos, Danielle is propelled directly into public chaos. Her loving but invasive parents have corralled her into attending a Shiva for a distant family friend. Once inside the home, she's enveloped by a world that feels as familiar as it is claustrophobic. The Shiva is a masterclass in sensory overload. Relatives and neighbors crowd the living room. Platters laden with kugel and pastries teeter on every horizontal surface, and every adult peppers Danielle with questions about college, internships, weight, relationships, the rumor mill of communal achievement swirling at a fever pitch. Every half-eaten bagel and over-plumped sofa carries the weight of 1,000 unsaid judgments. Here, accomplishment is currency, and Danielle, without a job or a clear career path, feels bankrupt. Danielle's parents orbit her protectively, but also press their own hopes and insecurities onto her. Her mother, nervy and manic, alternates between offering food and thinly disguised criticism. Her father, more gentle but no less invested, hopes she'll find her footing. Danielle walks a tightrope. Her parents' marriage is warmly bickering. Her mother's competitive streak especially potent around Maya's mother. And everywhere Danielle turns, she's measured, compared, and found slightly wanting. And then the real tension enters the room. As Danielle takes a moment to breathe, she spots Max, her sugar daddy, her recent client, or maybe, in some smaller, more delusional part, her almost boyfriend, walking in with his tall, perfect Shiksa wife Kim and their blonde baby. Danielle's heart pounds. Max is a fixture in the community, known to her parents but in an entirely different context. Their relationship is a secret wrapped in terrors. What if someone recognizes him? Or worse, her with him? What if it all tumbles out? The secret payments, the sex, the gaps in her schedule and her heart. What follows is a masterclass in escalating anxiety. Danielle tries to avoid, then fails to avoid, Max at every turn. He is genial and nervous. She is scattered and watchful. Brief conversations at the food table become minefields, every word bending under the weight of possible exposure. Kim, all warmth and accomplishment, is everything Danielle fears she is not. She's attractive, high-achieving, a new mother who seems, to Danielle's eyes, effortlessly confident. Kim's friendliness is mostly genuine, But curiosity grows when she sees how nervous Max is and how Danielle can't stop glancing over. At the same time, Danielle is also swept into the gravitational pull of Maya. Maya is her childhood friend, once girlfriend, now frenemy, family favorite, and constant rival. Their rapport is barbed but intimate. Maya chides Danielle's messiness. Danielle pokes fun at Maya's perfection. Between tart jokes and hunched shoulders, the remnants of past intimacy flicker. Maya is fully out, self-assured, and has the affection of both sets of parents. Where Danielle's life is in flux, Maya's appears almost falsely complete. Underneath the tension, however, lingers lingering mutual attraction, a slow burn rekindling layered under all the chaos. The house turns into a labyrinth of narrow hallways and overheard conversations. Danielle's mother pushes food into her hands. "Did you eat? You look pale." Aunties probe about future plans. Random relatives ask about jobs she doesn't have or classes she has fumbled. She lies, improvises, and blurts out half-baked explanations about working with women's causes and non-profit internships. Each fib stacks on the last, raising the stakes of her unraveling facade. During breathless moments in narrow bathrooms, Danielle struggles to hold herself together, confronting her reflection with dread. Her phone dings with messages from Max and Maya, tugging her in different emotional directions. Frequently, Danielle's composure teeters at the edge. Her nervous laughter and attempts at banter can't quiet the internal cyclone. Through the bathroom door, snippets of others' conversations spill in, reminders of competition, old secrets, and new comparisons. The dynamic with Maya intensifies throughout. Away from families, Danielle and Maya trade history, grievances, and private jokes. The emotional clarity and old fondness between them are obvious. Maya wants to know who Danielle's been seeing, what's happening in her life. Her probing is concerned but spiced with teasing jealousy. Danielle tries to be nonchalant, then sheepish, finding herself both drawn to Maya's approval and defensive of her unspoken failures. Tension simmers as the two slip outside for a furtive cigarette. In this bubble, beyond adult ears, the flirting sharpens. Maya is more forward, hinting at their past and pointing out Danielle's nervous glances at Max. What begins as banter suddenly turns real when Maya leans in for a quick, hungry kiss, a jolt of real connection, relief and desire mixing with anxiety. Danielle pulls back only because of the danger of being seen, and because the touch feels both necessary and devastating, a reminder of everything she's lost and still wants. Back inside, the web of danger grows tighter. Kim asks Danielle about her studies and ambitions, even gently offering career advice. She shares how she met Max, describing the serendipity and ease of building a family. Danielle stammers her way through replies, sweat growing at her temples, scared that Kim might see too much in her eyes. As the two women talk, Kim grows subtly suspicious, noting the weird tension between Danielle and her husband, but remains polite. Max, trying to maintain calm, becomes ever more erratic, offering Danielle money in private, while simultaneously pretending all is normal to his wife. As Maya drifts around the house, mothers compare notes. Maya is applying to law school, Danielle is figuring things out. The contrast is sharpened mercilessly. Danielle overhears herself being derided and pitied in equal measure. Maya and Danielle's mothers, though old friends, gossip and compete. Their exchanges, complimenting and undercutting in the same breath, mirror the daughters' dances of rivalry and desire. Danielle, feeling entirely on edge, grabs more and more snacks and pastries, seeking cover at the food table, but finds herself growing physically nauseous, along with her social anxiety. She swallows both food and shame, overwhelmed and unable to escape, her body and mind both in revolt. Her mother follows, needling her for not eating enough, then for eating too much. The coupling of Danielle and Maya gains urgency. They slip away into smaller and smaller spaces, their conversations ranging from aggressive pragmatism, "You're acting crazy, Danielle," to the nearly confessional, "I missed you." Danielle is at times bratty and uncommunicative, Maya too quick with her judgments, but the viewer senses the old magnetic pull. There's an aching need to reconnect, but also a wall built of resentment, one that neither seems ready to tear down entirely. One of the story's most claustrophobic and darkly comic sequences occurs when Danielle, on the verge of unraveling, finds herself locked in the bathroom with both Maya and Kim. A tampon crisis morphs into an interrogation. Kim, now unable to ignore the weird vibes, directly asks Danielle if she knows Max from somewhere else. Danielle lies, blankly grasping at half-truths, while Maya watches with equal parts curiosity and concern. Elsewhere in the house, grandmothers and aunts compare Danielle to other young women, their voices rising in a Greek chorus of competitive mothering. Who got engaged, who got promoted, who is falling behind in the endless race of growing up. The house itself seems to shrink, windows fogging with breath, every room brimming with surveillance and expectation. The climax hits as realities and secrets threaten to combust. Kim, suspicious and deeply unsettled, finally asks Max point blank about Danielle's role in his life. Max cannot keep the web of lies from fraying, and Danielle, trapped at the center of a converging crowd, faces near public exposure. All the shame, desire, and resentment she's juggled surges to the surface. Yet at that moment, help comes from the most surprising direction. Maya, reading Danielle's distress, swoops in with a strategically timed distraction and loving protection. Danielle finally collapses into tears, and Maya, refusing to let her spiral, comforts her. They share a second, more tender kiss, sheltered by the chaos, a lifeline of real connection in a hostile sea. For a brief moment, Danielle feels fully seen, accepted not for her potential or her projected achievement, but for her vulnerable, messy self. The Shiva's conclusion arrives as the family prepares to leave. In an ironic twist of fate, a carpool disaster leads to everyone, including Danielle, Maya, Danielle's anxious mother and bemused father, Kim, Max, and the crying infant, crammed together in a minivan for the ride home. The tension in the air dissolves into absurd laughter. Packed shoulder to shoulder, boundaries dissolve. Embarrassment and rivalry ebb before a tidal wave of shared humanity. In this final scene, chaotic, awkward, but undeniably intimate, Danielle comes full circle. She rests her tired head on Maya's shoulder, who slips her hand into Danielle's with wordless reassurance. Her parents, exhausted but loving, murmur apologies and encouragement. The road home is messy, filled with traffic and noise, but for the first time all day, Danielle feels a flicker of peace. Even if her future is uncertain, even if full acceptance will take time, she belongs among people who love her, even when they don't always understand her. The film closes not on a neat solution, but on possibility. Danielle's world hasn't magically resolved. Her secrets remain. Her future is a blank page. But the ordeal of the Shiva has gifted her with something vital, the courage to exist, flaws exposed in her own skin. The life lessons of Shiva Baby are hard-won, and they reverberate long after the story ends. You cannot outrun who you are, nor the eyes of those who love you, but you can survive their gaze and come out stronger. Mess is not failure. It's a sign you're growing, reaching, risking. The closet, whether about sexuality, anxiety, or insecurity, is only as tight as the secrets you choose to keep. Community and family, however suffocating, can also surprise you with forgiveness and grace. Love is rarely simple or heroic. Sometimes it's just the hand that reaches for yours when you break, or the laugh that erupts in the middle of disaster. Most importantly, you are worthy of acceptance, even when your hardest truths are unwelcome. Survival and belonging can be found even in the eye of a storm. So, can facing the worst day of your year end up saving your sense of self? For Danielle, the answer, halting and hard-won, is yes. She leaves the Shiva changed, not because her problems are solved, but because she's learned that being seen, truly seen, is the gateway to embracing her own chaos with both hands. If these words resonate with your own journey through identity, family, and queer longing, don't forget to like and subscribe to join us for more honest recaps, deep dives, and stories that bring hidden truths into the light, one Shiva and oneself at a time.